Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence.
Legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
She thought she had the smoking gun. Instead, Tom Homan calmly turned the hearing around and forced the entire room to confront one question. What does the law actually say? When AOC accused him of creating the family separation policy, Homan didn't dodge, didn't panic, and didn't raise his voice. He simply answered. And what happened next completely changed the direction of the hearing. AOC came prepared with documents, accusations, and an emotional argument she expected would corner the former ICE director. But Homan responded point by point, defended the zero-tolerance policy, argued that illegal entry is a violation of federal law, while also distinguishing legal asylum through ports of entry, and challenged Congress over border security. The exchange escalated even further when lawmakers clashed over detention, immigration enforcement, and who bears responsibility for the crisis. Watch until the end to see how one hearing turned into one of the most heated immigration debates on Capitol Hill.
Let's get into it.
You know, Mr. Chair, I was looking, how did we get to this point? How did we get to this point where we take children out of mothers' and fathers' arms? And, you know, it dated back, family separation in the way that we have seen it, where we take children away from their parents without due process, began last year under Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, but I had to dig further, and our staff dug further. But where did this start within the administration? She implemented it, and we found a memo. It dates back to April 23rd of 2018, where there was an official recommendation to, quote, pursue prosecution of all amenable adults who cross our border, quote, illegally, even though this applied to legal asylum seekers in practice, including those presenting with a family unit between ports of entry in coordination with DOJ. Here is the memo that I would like to submit to the congressional record. And so I looked at this memo, and it seems like this is the source of it. And it seems as though, Mr. Homan, that you are the author. It says here from yourself, Kevin Michalinen, and Francis Cisna. Is this correct? Did you sign the memo?
I'd have to see what you...
I'd be happy to provide it. And we'll provide it over, but I would like to note that here it says the official recommendation. There were 3 different options presented. The third included the option for family separation. This initiative would pursue prosecution of all amenable adults, including those presenting with a family unit. Mr. Homan, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy?
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo?
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their parents.
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father from his family.
Mr. Homan, with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you enter the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
AOC thought she had Tom Homan trapped. She held up an internal memo and asked him directly whether he had signed it. Homan didn't hesitate. Yes, I signed that memo. That answer looked like a victory. For about 5 seconds, AOC immediately tried to frame him as the architect of family separation. But Homan pushed back. He said he was not the author of the memo and explained that he had presented multiple recommendations to improve border security and reduce deaths at the border. As the questioning continued, the debate shifted to the zero-tolerance policy. Homan argued that when adults are arrested, separation from children can occur just as it does in many domestic law enforcement situations. To illustrate his point, he compared it to arrests for offenses like DUI or domestic violence, where children are also separated from parents because of the arrest. AOC responded that asylum seekers are not criminals. Homan countered by distinguishing between seeking asylum and entering the country illegally between ports of entry, arguing that unlawful entry violates federal law, while also stating that people seeking asylum should present themselves at a lawful port of entry. The exchange quickly became one of the hearing's most intense moments. Neither side backed down. Then, another lawmaker used his time to condemn comparisons between immigration officers and the Gestapo, calling those comparisons offensive. Homan thanked him before delivering his sharpest criticism of the hearing. He argued that Congress had failed to secure the border, failed to close loopholes his agency had identified, and said lawmakers should look at their own actions if they wanted to understand why detention numbers had grown. Before he could continue, the committee chair cut him off because his speaking time had expired. Homan objected, arguing that others had been allowed extra time. The chair insisted the rules applied equally. Then, the hearing ended with one final remark from a lawmaker. "You work for me. I'm a taxpayer." The room fell silent as one of the most contentious immigration hearings came to a close.